Hello and welcome to another episode of Ladder Anxiety with me, Proximace. So today we're going to look at a TVZ, or ZVT technically, that I played recently on the EU ladder again, just so I didn't like the lag of the other two. So the start of the game's not going to be anything special, which is why I'm speeding through it, because I'm going to do the same build as I always do, which is get the hatchery on 14, build up to 16, then get gas, then get pool. Exciting, isn't it? But I am going to slow down now. Everything's slightly up and running because he's got barracks and gas. He's going to go reactor, and he's actually getting reacted Reapers, which is not something you see a lot recently because you don't need the tech lab for Reapers, but most people tend to build one quick Reaper rather than wait for the reactor to go on. But I guess he likes us having two a little bit quicker out. But I've got my pool up now, so I can get double queen in a moment. I will do it. Come on. There we go, double queen. A little late there, but there we go. So there's his reactor on there, so he's now going to build two Reapers, and he's going to expand behind this. So it's a nice standard build, but kind of having the reacted barracks so you can switch into marine production or even go double Hellion, which would actually be quite powerful if you had double Reapers, because I'm going to make a lot of Zerglings to deal with the Reapers or more Queens, and then Hellions are quite good against light units. So again, I'm just droning up. I haven't got anything, but the disadvantage of doing what he's done, which is get this reactor first, is my Queens are finished before the Reapers are. Now usually when you have a fast Reaper build, the Reaper gets to your base before the Queen is complete, so it's kind of a little bit more effective in harassment, whereas now I've got two Queens. There's not a lot of distance that isn't creep spread, so I can quite easily defend against these two Reapers. Plus, I know Reapers are likely, just because I'm against Terran, they're quite good, so I'm sending my Overlord to stand on the end of here, because it's a quite good point for them to pop up, just like there. So they're going to come in. Do they get any kills between them? One each. So they didn't do too much. Ooh, two. Yeah, so two drones for that much gas investment early. I mean, he doesn't lose them, but they're forced to run away. Isn't so good. But he does got his expand up now, and he is getting 3 barracks, so he's getting tech labs on the 2 of these. So he can continue to mass up units. He's making this into an orbital, so he didn't do as much harass as he would have liked there, because again it was delayed, so I managed to get my Queens out. And I'm kind of got a little group of Zerglings just to kind of prevent Reapers, really, because you can surround quite easily when they're on creep. So that's not so bad. But he has turtled up quite a lot. He's now getting a factory, so he could go into tank, or he could go into kind of biomine, which is quite popular because he's getting that second gas now, so he is going to go into slightly higher tech units. I'm putting down the Baneling Nest, and I'm going up to Lair Tech. He runs the Reapers back in now they've recharged, and sits them behind my mineral line. So he is going to get a couple more kills of these, 4 each, 3 or 4. Yeah, but he did actually run them into the only place I could actually trap them. So I take those out. I did see my Baneling Nest, which is kind of a little bit annoying, but it's kind of quite natural for Zerg to go Banelings anyway. And I'm now taking this third base because I've got plenty of money. I've just taken out his ability to do map control. I now have the fast units, and he's now got his, Bio's not that slow, but it's a lot slower than just a pack of Zerglings, especially with speed. So he's now just going to sit out and take his second base. He's going to take a bit more of a defensive posture here, walling off. He's getting siege tanks, so he is going to sit back now, build up an army. Yeah, so here's the wall off coming in, a couple of bunkers and a couple of depots here, just to prevent Zerglings from running in and attacking this natural here. But my third base is now up, and I'm fully saturated on these 2 bases, and I'm just kind of worried now that there's going to be more Hellions or Reapers, which is why I'm kind of now spreading my creep, because I now have to be in 3 places at once rather than 2, so just the creep just helps my units get around that a little bit quicker, so that's not so bad. So now Stim's nearly done, getting a couple more siege tanks out, he's finished this wall off now, so he is very well turtled up. He's still producing siege tanks. He's going starport. That's most likely just for medevacs. There's not really anything like Banshee Harass could do right now because I have got 2 queens and I want their tech so I can get overseers quite easily. I'm getting Baneling speed and double evos, and I'm throwing down a load of spine crawlers again just to prevent harass from Hellions or from Reapers. I should probably have placed one of these behind the mineral line just to kind of help protect it against Reapers, but I wasn't that worried because I'm going to get a queen there quite soon anyway. Drops the scan and drops it here, so yep, you can see him quickly click on that to check it was a spire, so he knows what's on the way. He's got an engineering bay down and an armory, so he can now go into Thors, get missile turrets, and he's going to expand again, take a 3rd base because he is well turtled up here, so he doesn't need to spend money on units. He can spend it on tech and upgrades and so forth. Meanwhile, I'm just kind of slowly spreading my creep out. This is something I'm getting a bit better at recently, but it's still something that's quite weak. By now, Nestia would probably have creep right under this base, so it's something that I need to get better at. But I am keeping my queen's energy reasonably low. I'm not missing too many injects. Again, that's something that could do better. But I think I transferred too many workers away here. I've only got 7 on minerals. So that's not so good. But I do rectify this at a later point. 1-1's about halfway done. He now scans and does see that I have got this 3rd base. But I'm already working my way down to having a 4th recruit spread going that way. And I'm just going to kind of scout up with 1 Zergling, see what he's got. That gets taken out with a tank hit from the tank on the high ground here, and I think I send another one in and find that it gets killed from the tank hit over here, so I know kind of a good number of tanks is sitting back there. So yeah, there's that other Zergling coming in. Yeah, it still gets killed by that tank on the high ground actually, so I suppose if I'd run it in a little bit further on it might have got taken out by that tank, but at this point I don't want to risk any more Zerglings or Banelings because they're just going to get taken out really, really quickly with tanks. And I've got a 4th base coming up now, and I've transitioned into getting a good mutable, and I'm spending some of the energy of my queens. Actually, I'm not sure quite what they were doing up there actually. I thought I was spending it on creep tumors, but apparently not. They were just randomly in the map for no readily apparent reason. But anyway, creep spread is now kind of starting to advance over. I'm spreading my overlords out just to try and get line of sight over the different attack paths. Obviously you can come up this side here around the top. I haven't got too much line of sight on this long attack path, but it's not so bad. But what I did see is with this overlord here, I did see this drop coming out, so I boxed my muters and sent them over here to try and intercept. And I've got vision kind of around here, so I know they haven't cut the corner, so I'm just going to try and come over here and get that intercept, just because I saw there was a big dune drop coming in, so he's not got a lot left at home. I'm building 8 more muters, but he is, got siege tanks, he's got more marines, he's just getting 1-1 now for, well, actually that's infantry armour and ship armour for some reason, but I spot these on the way in, so muters on the way, take out 2 medevacs before they even drop anything. The 3rd one drops 1 Hellbat, so 2 Hellbats and a Marauder, not really going to stand up to things that it can't shoot, i.e. anything that flies. So his Dune Drop kind of failed a bit there, so he's now stuck, sat back. He's got this 3rd orbital, but it's kind of, he is very defensive behind his main wall here, so he's going to have to push out to try and take defensive posture across this bit of space here, because attacking up this ramp is a bit difficult because you don't have vision of high ground, so it's mainly going to be across here to take this 3rd base. Meanwhile, I'm now saturated on 4 bases, but I kind of don't resaturate my natural for whatever reason. I can't really remember why, but I'm leaving this force at home. I've got my muters up here so that they can kind of, they're just going to poke. He has now set up this defensive line here, and he is going to take this 3rd base, so this is a nice posture for him. Still sitting back with these tanks on the high, this tank on the high ground, but he is well defended up here. So my Muta's just going to be annoying little flappy bastards and just kind of poke in, poke out, just try and bait them in. I do just sacrifice a couple to get a tank. I'm not sure it was really worth it, but at this stage this is kind of all of his army, so if I can sacrifice a couple of Mutas to get the tanks, which are really the kind of things I need to worry about with Ling Baneling. Obviously Marines are quite good as well, but without those siege tank hits they can't take out the Bangs really quickly. He's now going into Thors because he's seen the big Muta ball. He's getting 1-1 weapons now for mech and for bio, and I'm getting Flyer Carapace, Grand Carapace 2 and melee attack 2, and also going up to Infestation Pit and Hive. So I'm just scouting around with my Mutas just to check there's no more drops coming in, there's no hidden base. And unfortunately for him, there's this attack coming from where my Mutas are. So I do come over here and I spot this. Take out the Medivacs, run away. I don't really want to engage these Marines because they do have stim and Mutas do melt quite quickly. But now he hasn't got Medivac support. He's wasted a stim, and now I'm just going to pin him against the side here. Swarm him with everything. And he leaves the game. Which I suppose might have been a bit premature of him. He has got a good defensive position here, but if we look in the units tab, I've got twice as many workers as he has. I mean, he doesn't know that, but his ground army's not so good. He's only got 15 Marines, 4 tanks which are all sitting back home, and 1 Thor which is sitting back home. Where it was, yeah, and most of his Marines are in bunkers, so he can't be aggressive. And with the amount of things he's just seen swarm his attacking force there, he knows he can't hold this third. I suppose he could have lifted it off, taken it back into his main and really sieged up, but you know, I'm on 4 bases. I can take this one quite easily. I can take the whole map quite easily if he's sitting back in his base, so that was a nice win for me. Yeah, it's good use of Ling Baneling Muta, really. Just kind of be annoying, just kind of poke in, just to make sure he's on the back foot, make sure he keeps a defensive posture, get, you know, base advantage, upgrade advantage, all the rest of it. Creep spread could have been a bit better. Only halfway across the map with these. It's not too bad, but I'm only, you know, advancing 1 creep tumor at a time, and my queens, where are they? Do have, you know, a couple of creep tumors in each of them, you know, 2 or 3. So that could have been advanced a lot quicker just by running them out and dropping them down, then sending them back. So that's something I might need to have a bit of a concentrate on to make sure I get it a bit better. And there's this random Medivac coming out here for no real reason, because I suppose he might have been sending it to help this army that then died in epic glory over the ground. That's a nice pile of corpses there, so we'll finish on that. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.